Previously on Even Under, I debuted my gear tunnel slide and I walked you through the material selection, design, and functionality. And ultimately, this slide was intended to hold my camp kitchen. So in this episode, I want to present my first revision of my camp kitchen. I will walk you through my design phases, talk about the design features that I've chosen, and we will hear feedback from other folks during some of my epic trips. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's have at it. So there it is, a cardboard cutout of the camp kitchen design that I'm trying to implement for this setup. Let me share this with you. It looks rough, I know. It was a lot of fun just kind of going through this thought process. Now it looks very similar to what you guys have seen before already with Rivian, but some key differences. One of which is that I'll be using the same kind of accordion style sink, but I'm actually going to have a faucet. There are some faucet 12 volt powered faucets with a switch that are available for like RVs, so I'm going to see if I can incorporate it in there. I got to get it flush mounted so that it fits inside the gear tunnel, but I don't plan on using a hose reel like the one Rivian does. I'm not a big fan of that, but that's all right. This is going to be a 2 module versus a 3 module, the way Rivian has it. I plan on having a drawer to come out of here, and that'll have all my utensils, maybe napkins, spices, whatever the case may be. Or maybe I'll have the spices hanging out on the side here. I've seen some implementation of that. But in any case, the idea of the drawer here is so that when everything's already pushed back in, I need to quickly get to something, I don't have to pull the whole thing out just to get to it. I can just reach in and grab it, pull it out. Now I will still have the drawer system underneath it, but it's just going to be one bottom drawer instead of two drawers, one on top, one on the bottom. So this will have all the pots and pans and stuff like that. I'll also have one over there on the second module. What I am implementing is not only is this going to go up, let's see if I can get it. Not only will this go up for the inductive stove, but I will have a smaller table that will go up here. And that'll essentially increase the countertop width. Let's see, 15, 10, 25, plus another 7 inches. So that's going to be a pretty good, decent sized countertop. And that'll also be back here in the back. Now, even though this is technically a single module, there's still enough space back there where I plan on putting somewhere between a 12 to a 5-gallon water bottle. I just got to find one that fits it. So all in all, this is going to be pretty interesting. Probably get started on this pretty soon. Materials, let's see here. I plan on using butcher block for the top countertop. Get that kind of kitchen vibe to it. I'll probably have the side walls, plywood, birch plywood, a nice coating on the side for the drawers as well. Still debate on the base, if I want to make that a wood base or try to get as thin as possible and make that aluminum metal base. So I'm still debating on that. Cost is going to play a role into it. But ultimately, I want to be able to not only design this and make it look like you can get it anywhere, but I might even try selling it up. So we'll see what happens. All right, so let's get on to the next phase of this.
Okay, come. Hold it, and then back up. Sweet. All right, after a couple of different iterations of this, here's the final frame for the two modules. There's still a third module to be made. It's going to sit in the back. It's not going to do much other than hold either the water or electronics. I haven't quite figured it out yet. So some changes have been made. I had different hinges that I was going to use. These work pretty good because they lock into place and they mimic what's up front. And I've added the slides. Oops. And I've added the slides. So this will be a top drawer that'll pull all the way out. And then bottom drawer. So I got a pair here, pair there, soft close. So it's gonna come out pretty good. They're kind of symmetric to each other, except for the fact that this one doesn't have the drawers in it, so I just have one support beam going across. A lot of the support is going to be on the top to the mounting holes, so there won't be any flexing. But in here, it's just little flex. Once it's mounted on, it should be fine. Now for removal, what I have for easy removal, I have these drop-down bolts. And they locate in the T-slots, and they grab on as you twist it, lock it into place. So I don't have to worry about sliding in from the front or the rear. I can just drop it down in place. Now, a final version of this, something that would be sellable, I wouldn't have the extruded aluminum. It would be a full sheet metal all the way around. That would maximize the space that's being used in there. But until then, this is what I'm working with. So I'm quite happy how it's going to turn out. Some things to take note. I would have liked to have a place on here where I can have a flush mount power, so I still may be able to do that. So it depends on how the drawer system works. But I do have this leg that sits here also that's taking up a lot of space, so I'm not quite sure exactly how I want to do that. Probably should have just removed the leg mounting holes up front. I might just do that and just bite the bullet on these two holes here, which is fine. I can probably cover up more screws. And so that would do is that will buy me some space here so I can mount the power receptacle there that I can use and just plug in straight into it. This side won't have any power, well, at least not the 110 volts. I'll need a 12-volt power supply, and that'll be for the pump for the water. Haven't quite ironed out those details yet, but that'll be in the next phase of this project. Right now I just want to get the surface top mounted, the drawers mounted, and the fascia on the front mounted so that it could be presentable. And then we'll go out there and test it, show it off to everybody, see what everybody thinks. Alright, so we're on our way to Calico. The idea is to meet up with a bunch of Rivian employees. There's about maybe 16 of us, majority all R1Ts. And what I really want to do is get their opinion in review of the camp kitchen. So it's a bit of a surprise for them because not everybody knows that I made one. And so I'm pretty excited to show it off to them, show them what I've done, get their inputs, considering a lot of them work for Rivian in a lot of different aspects, whether it be financing, engineering, design, all the above. I don't know everybody there. I only know a handful of guys there. So it should be pretty interesting and very informative.
informative for me. And then later on next week, we're gonna head over to Palm Springs, and I'm gonna meet up with some hardcore Toyota guys, some Land Cruisers and Lexus guys, and I want to get their opinion on not only my setup for my Rivian and everything I have on there, but also for the camp kitchen, because a lot of those guys have their own setup too, coming out of the back hatch or the tailgates or whatever the case may be. And I want to get their input. And so the idea is to get ideas for improvement for this design and try to make it better. So there's a whole 2-weekend plan for this. Calico, we're gonna go off-roading, probably hit up Kramer's Arch, try to squeeze through there, and then Palm Springs, who knows? We'll see what kind of trails we can get in trouble with over there. So we're almost there. I'm not gonna film too much at Calico. The reason is because I have my family with me, but also I just wanna, the main focus is the camp kitchen. I'll try to record some of the offshoots and some off-roading mishaps or any issues that we found out there, or fun times, and just kind of throw that into the video. So I'm excited to see what they're gonna say. All right, come check it out, man. Let's go. Take a look. So, first off, what I did is different is I have the drawer up front. There's a lot of times where somebody's like, I need napkins or I need utensils, and I don't necessarily want to go through and dig everything out. So there's a quick drawer so I can go and grab stuff up real quick, right? Same size as before. And then I got a stand here. Nice. It's resting on the door, but just to add that extra security. Perfect. You can raise it up? Yeah, I can raise it up for you. What I'll do is I can adjust this here.
So like a rock underneath?
Yeah.
Yeah, clearance under here is nice.
Yeah. So now it's 30.
30.
Yep.
So nice handle. It's a nice handle.
Yeah, so the handles, they help kind of get it over the door as I pull it out. This is from Amazon, dual burner. The downside to this is an 1800 watt total.
So one.
Yeah, so I got to do one at a time, or both put them low and low. But I guess the hinge system is locking, and it's pretty strong.
Nice.
So everything.
Oh, so like you don't have to have like a standoff here.
No, and both of them are like that. Actually, nice. I think it needs to come up more.
The inset's very nicely done.
Mm-hmm. So I use a router for
I
that.
was gonna say.
Yeah. Ooh, it's not coming all the way out. I don't know why.
Is it hot?
Oh yeah, this is caught. Need to pick it up higher.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, now I'll clear it. So this side is going to be the sink, kind of like the way Rivian has it.
Yeah, like one of those collapsible.
Yeah, exactly, because it's good for space. But my goal is to actually have a faucet in this area that will be kind of flush, and then it'll pop out, and so you can actually have a running water and
You
faucet.
can rotate it.
Yeah. Cool. The other addition is I added additional space here to kind of increase the
So now it's
countertop.
almost like the size of a full kitchen countertop.
Yeah, it's pretty close to it. Yeah. 120 with USB charger up here.
Nice. You get a speaker.
Yeah. And then the drawer system on the bottom. So it's just a 2-drawer system, one on each side. The left one's bigger than the right, and that's where I keep the pots and stuff like that, and other utensils.
And so you have a lot of space here.
Yeah. And they pull out.
Nice.
Oops, there goes a paper towel.
Oh.
Yeah. And they lock in. Unfortunately, they don't lock out, but as long as the truck is level, then it should be fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Everything's contained in one unit.
I tried to get everything I carried to put it in one area.
So you did an 80-20 fusion slide up?
Yes.
You do like a bridge piece in between?
So it's got like a 5-inch C-channel in between.
Okay.
And a 1.5 inch on each side of it to kind of add the full length. So it's about almost close to 14 inches wide. It's lighter than the Rivian Slide, and the Rivian Slide, just the slide by itself, is close to 100 pounds. This one's 65 pounds.
And you use your T-slots?
T-slots, and they're drop-in bolts, so I can tie them up from the
And you can
inside,
pull them in.
and then I can pull them straight out instead of running them down the slide.
Downside. Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the cooktop?
The actual cooktops from almost everything's Amazon, right? It's going from one pocket to the next for us. But this one's, I was explaining earlier, this one's a 1800 watt dual, so I got to be careful because we have a 1400 watt limit. So I can start with one at high, and it's like 1450. But if I want them both on, then it's got to be medium on both burners. But they heat up pretty good.
What's this thing today?
This power, so I put in a 110 with USB.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
It all runs off the same power.
a bottle opener here too.
Yeah. So the bottle opener acts like the handle for this drawer. to pull
Oh,
stuff.
it's a door.
Yeah.
And it's a bottle.
Yeah. I don't drink, but somebody does.
That's excellent.
Yeah. So
Then you've got
And you built us very quickly, in about like 2 weeks, right?
about 3 weeks, but it's like off and on because family life and then working and whatnot. But yeah. So I did a lot of drawings for design. The next steps really is I want to try to put it in CAD and get away from the extrusions, especially on the frame of it. The slide not so much, and then maybe make the actual slides vertical because there's not a lot of weight support when it's on a horizontal position.
So the next things are going to be get the sink in there with the faucet.
Yes, that's actually next. Yeah, sink with the faucet.
you've already drawn the lines here.
Yeah, it's kind of outlined it, just kind of figure out how I want to do it.
Yeah,
So-
try to use it and be like, okay, if the sink was here, how would it work? type of
Exactly,
thing.
exactly. Yeah.
Do I need to move it an inch this way, an inch that way?
So the idea is to have an integrated faucet instead of something separate that just pull out, which works also. But I like everything to be integrated.
So you put the H-frame in the back to basically fasten everything down to the body. There's provisions there.
Right. So I mean, I use the same mounting locations that are located on R1T that we use for like we as if I'm still with Rivian. That Rivian uses, right? Just the bottom mounting holes. They also use side holes. So those are at an angle, and I didn't want to go through the whole engineering for that. And I think that's for more lateral support, especially with heavy braking and heavy acceleration. But I haven't seen or heard much movement with this. And then with our trek that we've done out here, off-roading, I mean, it didn't fall apart. We opened it, it came right back out. So I'm actually quite happy with that.
Yeah, it passed that
Yes, off-road test it.
NCH test.
So this was the first test of it?
Yeah, first test deployment. Yeah.
Is there like much room for it to even move around in there? Or does it cover up like pretty much
There's
the whole
about an
space?
inch all the way around.
Could you
inch to
add-
3/4 inch.
Could you add like a rubber block here just in case to kind of stabilize it?
I'm not concerned about that movement side to side. I'm more front to back.
Okay, all
Right, because it is kind of top heavy, and you got that leverage going back and forward and backwards.
Yeah, like it tweaks in
Yeah,
there.
but once it's in there, it's actually really solid.
And it's
Because
perfect
everything
because you have
locks
the cover here.
Yeah.
Perfect height, right? It's a good, I would say, 6 foot clearance.
Now, for me, I would want the 270 awning, and it pulls out 80 inches. This one pulls out 60 inches.
So you
Yeah.
have way-
So that would be ideal, and then it would cover the back of the truck.
Could you, so that's your shower tank reservoir, right?
Yes.
Could you tie into that, for example, could you just get a pipe here with a release valve and tie into that? That way, that becomes your reservoir for your sink and your.
I could, but the idea of the faucet is to have clean, drinkable water there,
And that's
and I can control the
potable
cleanliness of
water.
this. Yeah,
Okay. This is amazing.
but that is a good idea.
It's amazing.
Maybe I just make a separate tank just for that.
It's the most heavily modified Rivian that exists.
So far, yeah, we'll see.
And every time I'm off-roading with you, there's something new, exciting to look at.
Yes.
So I was like, it's cool to see your kitchen, and it exists.
Yeah,
I remember like months ago I was in Irvine, because I used to live in Irvine, and I went to that In-N-Out, and this was like way before I had my truck.
Yeah.
And I saw yours with like the tent and the little backpack on the back.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh my god. Because it was like before anybody had anything.
That's funny.
And I just saw you in the drive-thru. I was like,
And it's
wow.
funny because I didn't think people would recognize me just off the streets. And I went to a couple of car shows and some guy yells at me, "Hey, you're famous! I know you!" I was like, "What? Really?" caught up to the Toyota guys. The 4Runner and the Land Cruiser ahead of me. Wow. All right, spend some intimate time here in the kitchen. Go through a couple things. So first off, right away, we have the countertop. It is a 1-inch butcher block that I found at Lowe's. It's not all one piece. I probably would have liked to have it all one piece. That way all the grains follow each other. But this is version 1. One option is for our alternative top. Come over here to this Land Cruiser. It's got this marine grade plastics, really hard and extremely durable. I kind of like this. It's a very good option. I may give that a shot on the next version. I'm probably going to be less expensive than the wood. I have to check in on that, but it's pretty durable and I like that. So he's got the sink attached to that one. This one's about, looks like a 1/2 inch. I think that might be enough for me, but we'll see. Come back over here. All right, so that's that. The framing itself is 2020 extrusion aluminum. So it runs, each is right now 2 modules. Here's one and the second one there. Third module's in the works, and that's gonna house where all the water's gonna be at. So I try to use the top as part of the structure, so I don't have too many cross beams going across. This was needed for the side drawer that comes out on the side. This one's just more of a line to keep everything in place, but it does prevent me from adding tall items in there, as you see here. So I can remove that now that the tabletop's on it. So that's creating structure for it. So that might be an option. I may explore that or move it up. One or two. It doesn't get in the way when I fold this down. So back to the top. Let's see here. So I have power here, 110 with USB, and that gets routed down through here into this extension cord. That's plugged in to the power. It's located underneath the slide. That routes all the way to the other end. I have it tied up, and that eventually gets plugged into the vehicle. So I have it gapped here. So this drawer is a little bit deeper than this one over here, just so I can clear the electric plug. The drawers are made of plywood birch. Both sides are pretty smooth. Pretty simple, just glue and throw some nails on there, pretty strong. You can see the gaps right on it, just enough. The side drawer itself, it's not locking rails, but it holds pretty well. Supports pretty good weight. At first, I wasn't ready to make drawers, so I just quickly found this one. This is it's an outdoor pottery box for plants, and it fit in it perfectly. Next design, I'll probably have it a little wider to accommodate more. This is laminate countertop that I have Home Depot. Just kind of threw it on there, add for durability. Also have the can opener, serves as a handle with magnetic to catch the cans. These latches lock into place and they hold pretty good weight. This is a short one, this is a 6-inch one. The other one's a 10-inch. Drawers pull all the way out, and you can still, I don't know if I can get it in there, kind of close everything if you need it to. The induction stovetop is from Amazon. I can't remember the brand, but I'll put the link below. This one's a dual 1800 watt. Rivian's 1500 watt max. So the idea is you put one on high, it gets up to 1450, But if you try to do both of them high, it might be too much. So if you want both of them on, you got to put them both mid-level, which is around 4. And that should be a nice happy spot. I think it comes out to like 1200 watts when both of them are 4. So that's pretty good. Now the sink plan is to have this routed for also a collapsible sink. It'll clear the paper towel, which is kind of nice. And then a faucet that'll swing out from here, reach to about this level. This whole sink will come out to the side as closest to the edge as I can without intruding on the hinge that's there. So probably to about here, and then have the faucet right on this area. The idea is you open it up, push down the sink, rotate the faucet out, have running water, powered by the 12 volt from the vehicle. Some additions are added. It's a paper towel holder, folds it once you pull the paper towel out. And then lighting. Right now, they're motion sensor lighting, but right now I have them off. So at night you can see everything you're pulling out from the doors. And for added lighting, I got LED strips around the awning. The third module will reach out all the way to the end. It's gonna be different material, probably just a birch plywood, just so it's thinner. I want to maximize the amount of water I can put in here. The trick is getting a water container that can accommodate the space and have the most gallons to accommodate it for. Currently right now I have a water bottle that's strapped to here, but the idea is to have a plate so the water bottle attached to it and it's being attached to the module itself. Haven't decided if I want an internal pump inside the container or external pump for that. I'm still looking to that, so I'm kind of limited in space, as you can see. But I got a lot of space I can use up here for a pump, since the water container is not going to accommodate that room there. It would be nice if I can find like a wedge. If you guys know anybody who makes wedge containers, please let me know. I'm looking for about 4 gallons. I think that's pretty good. I can always carry extra water if I need to. And then for washing hands, if you want, I can use this. I'm not going to wash hands with this. I mean, why would you wash your hands after the restroom and then go to the kitchen and wash your hands? Anyways, let's see here. With these drawers, pretty successful. I get everything I need in here. All the pots. These pots are also from Amazon. They're inductive stove friendly, so that'll turn on. And then I got these universal type lids that accommodate different sizes, so that's kind of neat. To decrease the rattling, I have these. Let's see if I can grab it here. These are kind of like silicone mittens. They work really well for grabbing hot stuff. So I kind of put those in there, put the pots in there, so it's kind of like in between it. Get in there. And I don't hear much rattling, to tell you the truth, but I'm not really listening for it. Also, there's also matting in there too to help dampen some of the noise. I haven't noticed anything shift in there, so I'm quite happy with that. For the face of this, I'm going to use the same material I used here. I'm going to redo this one. measure once, cut twice. Anyways, measure twice, cut once. So I made this one first, then I did the drawers. I should have done the drawers first, and then made the side panel. The side panel consists of 2 1/4-inch. The reason is that because I notched out areas where the track for the hinge would follow and not interfere with it. So it's pretty close. You can see it here. So it goes all the way down. So I'll probably make another one in a couple of weeks. Just gotta cover this up, make it a little more complete. It's already built the same. Probably align it a little better, but I think it's pretty good. Probably misalign it a little better, so it's on there pretty square. And so I'll have this one covered with the same material, so it'll be black on black. That should be nice. After I cut the sink, then I'll go ahead and sand this down and get a nice smooth finish, get rid of these imperfections, and then seal it. I don't know if I'm gonna seal it with lacquer, clear lacquer, or some type of durable coating on it. And then that will be for version 1. So version 1 is just kind of my prototyping. Eventually, I want to make a sellable version. And if you guys are interested in buying one off of me, hit me up, and then I'll get you in touch with that. Maybe do a group buy. Version 2, get rid of all the extruded aluminum, and it'll be aluminum frame. So this will consist of the frame, aluminum frame all the way down. It'll be like kind of like a U-frame, where I can attach the hinges to it, attach the door attachments to it, and that'll get rid of the space that's being taken up by the extruded aluminum. So it allowed me to make the drawers slightly wider, so I can add more things to it. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I need to find a fabricator that'll help me out with that one. They'll be duplicate. These will be twins, so the same size. That's my intentions. And then try to figure out different type of countertops I can use. Like I said, I can use the wood here, the plastic, marine plastic that you saw earlier, or just whatever comes to my mind. Kind of make it custom made. Don't ask me a price. I don't know why I'm into it right now. I would probably say right now, for sure, I'm under $1,000. And how much I would sell it for, that just depends on what kind of materials I use it later. But we'll discuss that a little bit later on in the year as we get closer. So after I'm done with this one, I'm happy with it. The next step is to redesign the slide. I'm going to try to get the heavy duty rails into the vertical position instead of this horizontal position. That'll give me better stability and strength. So I have a pretty good idea, a couple of designs I've drew up that I can implement. And of course, that's going to change how everything is mounted inside here. So all this is going to change as well, and should be a little bit more robust, a little bit cost effective, easier to reproduce, should be nicer. And then once that slide is done, my idea is to get it to the same height so that I can reuse the dimensions that I have for the modules here. Then I'll go into version 2 of the modules, and that will be close to the production version that I'm going to use. So we'll see how that pans out for me. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get some opinions from the guys over here. Here's the other group here. Got some Land Cruisers, Ford 4Runner. Behind me is another Land Cruiser. Pretty cool guys to hang out with. We're gonna camp here in this canyon, here at Purdue Canyon, part of Palm Springs. So I heard the feedback from the Rivian guys earlier. So wait for these guys to settle down, invite them over, and see what they say. Maybe get some ideas to come off of them. And check out this leg. So I've been trying to figure out a couple things with the legs here. This one folds over. It's kind of nice, extremely sturdy. I had to drill in these holes here. Actually, let's see here. That one's factory. These 1, 2, 3. That way it can adjust for the different height levels for the vehicle. So this one's when it slams to the ground on the lowest level. We'll get the highest level here. Right now the truck is auto leveled to the terrain. So I got it in this notch and to keep it from sinking in the sand. I threw one of these in here. There you go. So it's pretty good. It locks into place. Just gotta push the button right up in here to unlock it, and it'll swing in and lock in there, and then it's tucked in there quite nice. There's where the outlet comes out, in case you're wondering. Hangs down low, but high enough to clear everything. That's just like a rubber grommet. And try to figure out how to push it up and keep it up there. So that's the idea of having this C channel, so I can route items through here and then tuck in the leg. But as it sits here, I mean, it's pretty sturdy. Now it's gonna wobble. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is wobbling, but not super tremendous. I'm pretty comfortable to kind of lean on it, put my weight on it, put something heavy, cooking. I just made some ramen noodle soup for my son. Boil the water there, put it in the thermos. Yeah. So when it gets a little darker here, I'll show you how it looks like with all the lights and everything lit up. I got some carne asada ready to put on here, make some tacos. It's kind of like a potluck session. I'll share it with a group of guys over here, and then crap up some bottles and have ourselves a party. All right, until then.
I have to say, this build was a lot of fun, and I most certainly learned a lot. Now that I have my camp kitchen, I can enjoy camping without having to worry about pulling everything out of my truck bed.
just simply open the gear tunnel, pull the slide out, and have my cookout. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. I have a lot of content coming up pretty soon, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get all my latest videos. Until next time, thanks everyone.